Okay, this is your video hint to help you get started with question number 5. Question number 5 is similar to some of the other ones that we have done, but as always, you must define your variables. So I used W to represent the number of women that attend the baseball game, and I used M for the number of men that attended the baseball game. You have to read the whole question carefully to understand what's going on. You know there's a group of 48 senior citizens. Remember, that includes the men and the women that went to the baseball game. And then it says the number of women in attendance was 12 more than the number of men. So that's where you're going to get your two equations. I think I'm going to type this up to make it nice and neat. We know that the women plus the men has to equal 48. Maybe they took a bus to ride there together or something. We don't know. And then we do know that the number of women in attendance was 12 more than the number of men. Whenever you see the word was or is, that usually means it's equal to something. So the number of women was 12 more than the number of men. So if I take the number of men, add 12 to it, I'm going to get W. Now, one of the things I want you to notice about this question, you do have the variable W that lines up. However, you do not have your m's lining up, you do not have your equal sign lining up, and you do not have your constant terms lining up. So, I want to remind you what we worked on a couple weeks ago. We had something called the substitution method. The substitution method is actually probably a better method to use with this. You don't have to use it. We could monkey some stuff around. We could get W or M back to this side, and then we could get the equation or the equal signs lined up and whatnot. But I do want to give you this option. If we know that the number of women is 12 more than M, in other words, 12 plus M, you might remember a couple weeks ago working on something called the substitution method, where you take the equation that has one of your variables defined. We already know that W equals this stuff. So if we take this stuff and we sub it into that top equation, this is what it will look like. It will look like 12. Having trouble with my pen here. So 12 plus M is going to go in for that first location. So I'm like taking this equation here. Sometimes we call this the messy equation. Whatever W is, it's getting replaced with 12 plus M. And then the rest of the equation still has to be there. This, remember, all equaled W. So W plus M equals 48. And what you have, if you choose to use this method of substitution, you have a much easier equation to solve. Remember that M plus M is going to give you 2 M's. Remember that you're going to subtract 12 from both sides, and I think you'll be good to go finishing this question. If not, as always, just send me a quick email and I'll work with you.